Welcome back to Metal Men's Chronicles. Earlier, just a couple hours ago, actually, we did Brothers from Hell, reviewing Possessed Revelations of Oblivion. Well, tonight, right now, obviously, I'm just going to talk about this. So, the 11th, 12th studio album, however you want to count it, Metallica's 72 Seasons, came out today. I actually got my copy yesterday, so I had it before a lot of people actually had it. Okay, there's a lot to talk about here. Okay, so where do I begin? Okay, so the musicianship. Okay, I'm going to say right now, I think James, Lars, and Rob sound fine. In fact, I think Lars is actually doing better drumming on this album than he did on the last couple of albums. I think James has some riffs. You can hear a lot of riffs on this freaking album. My problem is they don't really go nowhere, or they feel directionless. Not saying like every track on here is like horrible. I'm just giving my honest opinion on what I think of this album because I've lived with this band since 1988. Ever since I first heard Master of Puppets, you know, way back in 88. That's what fucking hooked me. And this band has pissed me off a lot over the years. Especially when Load came out. Holy crap. And I've told this story a million times. How freaking pissed I was when they cut their hair and completely abandoned metal. But we're not going to get into that. This is about 2023 Metallica. So yeah, we get a new Metallica album out here in 2023. And in July, we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Kill 'Em All. A monumentum, a classic. The evolution of thrash metal. And in 2023, obviously, Metallica's not that same band. They haven't been that band for a very, very, very long time. I mean, you can predate back to 1984. Lars was already planning on taking Metallica in a more melodic direction. I mean, you can find an old interview on YouTube from 1984 with Dan Billier of Exciter and Lars Ulrich. They were touring together at the time, and Lars even back then was saying, well, on the next album we're going to experiment with more slow tempos, excuse me. So this predates back to 1984 where fucking Lars was already thinking about this stuff, about slowing down and, changing direction from like Kill 'Em All. So it didn't really start with the Black Album, just for say. So anyways, we get to 72 Seasons. 77 minutes of, well, it's there. I mean, like I played this album a couple of times already. Like there's good stuff on here. There is actually good stuff on here. I just don't think it's structured very well. On a lot. There's like maybe 2 tracks on here that really caught me. I'm like, you know what? Those are pretty damn good. It kind of harkens back, but there's still something missing. You know what I mean? Could it be they need a new producer? I think we all know what's really missing. And obviously he can't come back to save this band. And I'm talking about the late Cliff Burton. He obviously can't come back to save this band, So we got 12 tracks. We got 77 minutes. of music again, which I think for a band like this, that's way too fucking long. If they would have trimmed it down to maybe 45, 50 minutes, it might be okay. But why do they have to make 77-minute long albums, near 80-minute long albums? And this has been a trend going all the way back to Load. You know? Okay, so beginning things, we got 72 Seasons. Written by James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Kirk Hammett. It's thrashy. It's got some cool moments, but it's not perfect. I mean, and my biggest problem with this album is Kirk Hammett. Kirk Hammett's my biggest problem. I don't think his solos are good on this album. I didn't think they were good on Hardwired either. Like, to me, I mean, when I listen to Kirk's solos, it's just the same old wah-wah bullshit, you know. However, 72 Seasons, it's okay. Even though it does kind of sound like a rehash of something off Hardwired to Self-Destruct. You know. So moving on, we go to Shadows Follows. Actually begins really, really cool. It sounds like old school Metallica in the beginning. It's got the galloping heavy fucking chunk riff with Lawrence's drumming behind it. Okay, this song's kind of passable. It's not bad. It's okay. It's pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. I like it. It's not bad. So then we go to Screaming Suicide, which was one of the singles released. Not really a big fan of this track. It's okay. There's a couple cool rips in here. But for the most part, it's there. That's all there is to it. It's just there. So I'm not going to spend much time talking about that track. So then we go to Sleepwalk My Life Away. This song sucks. Horrible song. This is the weakest song off this freaking album. It's terrible. Absolute trash. I don't like this track at all. You Must Burn follows. When I saw that title, I'm thinking, oh, maybe this will be a thrashy tune. Nope, it's not good either. Like, to me, this track sounds like they're just trying to rewrite Sad But True. And it fails miserably. It's not a good track. Lux Aeternis, the first single released way back in November. And it does harken back to Kill 'Em All. It does have that Diamond Head influence. It's simple, fast, straight to the point. It's all right. You know, it's nothing spectacular, but it's okay. Crown of Barbed Wire. Actually, this track was pretty decent. Not bad. It's got a pretty cool, heavy riff. Actually, I like the mid part of this song with the riff. I thought the riff was really good. It's like a simple stop-start type of riff that's pretty chunky, where it sounds like it's just James and Lars kind of playing along. It actually sounds okay. This track is not that bad. Chasing Light. Okay, this track, it's a little faster. It kind of has a decent riff. What ruins this track, though, is the vocals. I thought the vocals on this track were horrible. All in all, I thought the track musically was pretty decent. But there's a part in this track where James Hetfield's doing a very high vocal line, and it just does not work. If Darkness Had a Sun is one of the singles that was released. This track, it sounds like a very cheapened, watered down version of something off And Justice for All. Kind of like Eye of the Beholder. It's okay. It's nothing great. Too Far Gone. Some alright rips in here, but again, it just feels kind of directionless. It just seems like, and it's a shorter song too, but it's not like great. You know, Room of Mirrors. This track I actually like. I really like this track. I love the harmony guitars in this track. It kind of harkens back to something you would kind of hear maybe early on like Master of Puppets or Justice. So this track's pretty good. I actually really like this track. Yeah, it's pretty speedy. Lars does some cool double bass shit in there. You know. Then we get in more. Fuck, if I can pronounce this goddamn song title. Inamorata, the longest track on here at 11 minutes and 10 seconds. Honestly, this track's pretty fucking good. A lot of people seem to not like this track. I actually really like it. A lot of people compare it to something off of Load. Yeah, I get that. It does kind of have that vibe. However, I think it's a bit heavier than anything off of Load. In fact, in parts, I could kind of hear a Black Sabbath influence on this track. And again, this track has some pretty cool harmony guitar leads in it. So it's a good ender. The album's 77 minutes and 14 seconds long, though. Way too freaking long. Like, to me, this album, there's rips there. There is rips there. I think Hetfield does some pretty cool rips. I think Lars is doing his best drumming, to be honest, in quite a while on some of this album. Rob Trujillo does some pretty okay bass work. I'm not a big fan of James's vocals on this album. There's something about him I'm not liking. I get he's older. I get they're all older. They're approaching 60. Some of them are already in their 60s. I think Kirk Hammett's already 60, by the way. Okay, all in all, it's not a terrible album. It's not a great album. It's better than Load and Reload, by far. It's better than Saint Anger. But if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give it an honest score for what it is. A 6.5 out of 10. That's what this album gets. Like I said, I like some of James's riffs on here. But to me, there's just no structure on a lot of this. That's my review, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions on 72 seasons. Everybody's fucking talking about it. And I knew I was going to eventually review this too. Next Thursday, I'm going to review the new Overkill album. I don't have fucking time to do it here in the next couple of days, so yeah, that's my review. 6.5 out of 10. Not the worst thing I've heard. It's, like I said, better than Load and Reload, but come July, we will be revisiting this album when it turns 40. I mean, Metallica's a legendary band. Metallica's the band that got me into metal. Metallica's the band that made me want to play guitar. Those fucking head-filled riffs, they're the ones that made me get into more extreme styles of metal. They're legends. They're icons. But hey, man, a spade's a spade, man. 6.5 out of 10. That's my review. All right, guys. Thank you.